Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Vols get 2 out of the transfer portal. There's some really good gets out of this deal. Real pleased with it. We're going to cover that with Dante Thornton and also Omar Norman Lott. So there is a lot of movement going on right now between transfer portal, people committing, people entering the transfer portal. We got a guy that declared for the NFL draft. All of this affects the Vols. And I'm going to try to put it all together in one consolidation. All right, now Dante Thornton's a really good get. This guy's a very highly sought-after recruit back in the day. He was number 51, I believe, as far as recruits, and a top 10 wide receiver. And the dude is 6'5", 200 pounds, and he flies. And he's got great hands. So this is going to be a really interesting get. It kind of reminds me, do you remember those 6'5" wide receivers they had at Missouri for a while? And I couldn't understand why Missouri was so good on offense all of a sudden. And it turned out it was Josh Heupel's offense. And he had a couple of 6'5" guys that were unstoppable. And they had that quarterback went to Denver, and he's a pro now. And this is the type of guy that Heupel likes to put out on the field because they're really a tough mismatch. And this guy is a problem immediately for the rest of the SEC. You know, they might as well just know that.
Learn it, know it, live it.
Well, they've been dealing with Hyatt and Tillman and Brew. Now they got to worry about Squirrel and Dante and Keaton and just so on. I mean, just look, we're difficult to deal with. It's just the way it is. Now, we missed out on Davon Sears from Texas State. He wound up committing to Oklahoma. And I don't think that was a real big shock. I think the Vols were more focused on Omar, and they did pick him up. So let's go into that. It really felt like the Vols were focused on this guy, this Omar Norman Lott, because Coach Garner's been recruiting him for 2 years. He entered the transfer portal last year, and Garner contacted him, but he wound up staying at Arizona State. Well, now he's back in the transfer portal, and we've been after him for a while now, and he has committed to the Vols. I believe he did it at 4 o'clock. And that was what I was waiting for. I didn't want to do a video before then because I kind of felt like he was probably going to commit, and he did. And so that's yet another really good pickup.
And another one.
That's right, another one. And I think we're doing pretty good in the transfer portal. I really do. Now we're waiting on John Campbell. He's going to commit at 7 p.m. to either us or probably Florida. Nobody really knows. Some people think he's leaning towards the Vols. They say when he was down at Florida, he was talking about the Vols and things like that, but, you know, we'll see. I think he'd get on the field quicker at Florida because they're having problems down there, okay? You know, they had a losing record this year. Billy Bob Napier's having some trouble, and they might be on the verge of a little bit of panic because they've had so many guys enter the transfer portal. But they did have a good recruiting class, so we'll see. You know, I don't know what they're going to be like without Anthony Richardson. You know, we saw him in that bowl game, and it was pitiful. But I'm not feeling sorry for Florida, let me assure you. When we go down there to the swamp, they'll be ready. I don't care what they've got to put out on that field. They'll be ready. And we just got news that Juwan Mitchell, a linebacker for the Vols, has entered the transfer portal. And I don't think this is a huge shock. We kind of were wondering if that was going to happen. Now, this may be a situation like the Tyler Barron or the Jalen Wright, where he may want some attention from Spire Sports, or it could be he just wants to transfer because maybe he sees the handwriting on the wall with the linebackers that we brought in. You know, it's just hard to say. I'm a little surprised by it, but I'm not really. So we'll see what happens with Juwan. I kind of doubt it's playing time, though. It may be, you know, maybe a little bit of this. And also, Jerome Carvin has decided to enter the NFL draft. And so, you know, it's kind of hard to get mad at somebody over that. I mean, look, you know, he's ready to move on to the next level. And I wish him all the success in the world because he's done a good job for us. You know, he's been a good, solid lineman, and I wish him well. And that's just part of it, man. You're going to be bringing people in. They're going to be leaving. It's the way it is. You know, the world has changed dramatically between NIL, transfer portal, recruiting, NFL. I mean, it's just.
Toto? I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. So we'll be waiting to see what happens with John Campbell, but we already picked up 2 really good gets, and they're the 2 we expected. I don't think there's too many people out there that were surprised by these commits, and I think they're really good and solid ones too. It helps with our defensive line. We always need depth there, especially this year coming up, as all these freshmen come in and start getting in the nutrition program, getting in the weight room. And we've got some freak athletes that are freshmen this year that at some point are going to be amazing players for us. But this is kind of a transition year. bringing in some good players who can help you short term is a good move. And then in the wide receiver room, look, this guy could be special. I'm just telling you, he could be really good. All right, folks, I told you I was going to pack all this in real tight and try to make it a fairly short video, but also get you all the information about all these players. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and the SEC and all of that. And if you haven't subscribed, right here on my left's a little button. Doesn't cost you 1 penny. A lot of you watch my videos, you don't hit the button. Just smack that little, just doop, hit that button. I would appreciate it. And on my right, YouTube likes to put a video over here, and I believe it's the one about Jim Harbaugh and the hamburger gate. He's in trouble in the NCAA over a hamburger. So anyway, check that out. And I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.